Method acting is a fairly divisive subject in theatrical circles. For some, it's a necessary part of air quotes proper acting, but for others it's a load of old tosh which just makes the actor portraying a character intentionally difficult for the sake of being intentionally difficult. Wherever you stand, it's hard not to admire the actors who go to extreme lengths for their craft, even if it means that they can quite literally almost die while playing pretend. With this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 actors who almost died because of their intense method acting. Number 10. Tom Hanks, Castaway. Castaway saw Tom Hanks stranded on a desert island, whereupon he spent the majority of the film talking to a volleyball and generally having a terrible time. To prepare for his role as FedEx man Chuck Noland, he went full-on method. He gained 50 pounds in order to look middle-aged, and then, after much of the film was shot, he lost all of that weight and grew a massive beard, so as to look like somebody who'd been stranded on a desert island for years. But it wasn't all that weight loss stuff that almost killed the actor. During the filming in Fiji, he failed to treat a leg wound, which later developed into a staph infection, all because he was committed to living like a madman. When Hanks finally got round to seeing a doctor, he was told that he was mere hours away from blood poisoning, and potentially death. Number 9. John Hurt, The Elephant Man. The Elephant Man features wonderful British actor John Hurt as real-life freak show John Merrick, whose grotesque appearance gave him a lifetime of pain and suffering, something that Hurt also experienced during the role. During the filming of The Elephant Man, Hurt's makeup was so extensive and so heavy that he risked suffocating to death if he laid down flat whilst wearing it. According to a few sources, Hurt nearly died a couple of times during the filming of this movie, when he forgot that he had to remain upright if he wanted to remain alive. Ironic, given that the real John Merrick reportedly died in exactly this manner. The experience then led Hurt to tell his wife, "I think they finally managed to make me hate acting." Number 8. Robert De Niro, Raging Bull. Raging Bull is often regarded as one of the best movies ever made, but it wasn't an easy role for Robert De Niro. In order to play real-life boxer Jake LaMotta in his later days, production was halted and De Niro was sent on a 4-month vacation to France and Italy and asked to eat his way around. De Niro did not disappoint, gaining 60 pounds for the role. The sudden weight increase played havoc with his health, and he began to struggle with his breathing, posture, and his speech. Production was even shut down for a while because director Martin Scorsese began to worry that his leading man was en route to having a heart attack. Number 7. Gerard Butler, Chasing Mavericks. In preparation for his role as a surfer in the now-forgotten flick Chasing Mavericks, Gerard Butler was taught how to surf by professional big wave master Grant Washburn. Though it's kind of admirable that Butler looked to go all method and learn to surf for real in order to truly embrace his role, Washburn apparently didn't do a very good job. The result saw Butler almost drown during filming. According to one eyewitness, Butler was held down for 2 solid waves and took 4 or 5 more waves on the head. When they brought Butler in, he had that 100-yard stare that surfers get after a 2-wave hold or a near-death experience. Number 6. Hilary Swank, $1 Million Baby. You can't really star in the leading role in a movie like $1 Million Baby unless you get into the role properly, which for Hilary Swank meant going full method. So, acting like a boxer became actually being a boxer. And that, as you've probably guessed by the title of this list, led poor Miss Swank on a path towards death. As a result of having to pivot excessively while training for the movie's now famous boxing scenes, she also picked up a staph infection, which, if left untreated, is usually fatal. What's more, Swank didn't bother to tell director Clint Eastwood about her injury, as she didn't want to slow down production, which, while kind of thoughtful, would have caused longer delays if she'd, died. Number 5. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Premium Rush. Hundreds of bike messengers end up getting injured every single day. It's all part and parcel of taking on a profession that requires you to weave in and out of traffic, disobeying every law known to man. It makes sense then that Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who played a bike messenger in Premium Rush, ended up injuring himself whilst filming one of the movie's crazy chase sequences. The clearly unhinged actor insisted on doing all of his own stunts for the movie, which is methody in its own right, but ended up flying from his bike into the back of a taxi, smashing the back window and slicing his arm open in the process. He required 31 stitches to heal the wound, but had he been going any faster or had the impact occurred with any more force, he could have very easily ended up splattered on the sidewalk. Number 4. Antonia Campbell Hughes, 3096 Days. The real-life Natasha Kampusch spent 8 years in captivity, confined to a dungeon at the mercy of a notorious madman. So when Antonia Campbell Hughes was cast in the role of Kampusch for the 2013 movie adaptation, she set out to suffer in equal measure. To that end, she dropped a hell of a lot of weight, to the point where she was barely recognizable and health experts began fearing for her life. That's not all though. Due to the dungeon setting where most of the story takes place, Campbell Hughes also tore her Achilles tendon, broke a toe, and fractured a rib as filming progressed. Certainly this was no mere going through the motions performance. Number 3. Sylvester Stallone, Rocky IV. Sylvester Stallone isn't the sort of actor who gets by using stunt doubles, so when it came to the climactic fight scene at the end of Rocky IV, he asked fellow actor Dolph Lundgren to actually try to knock him out. You know, so it looked super real. What happened next couldn't have been totally unexpected. Lundgren hit Stallone with such force that his pericardial sac swelled up and began pushing against his heart, which you know is never a good thing. The Italian stallion was rushed to hospital as a result, fearing death, where he was placed in intensive care for 9 days. The impact made by such a punch was later compared to the injury expected from the likes of a horrific car accident. So yes, Lundgren's fist pretty much acted with the force of a car crash. No wonder he has the line,
"I must break you."
Number 2. Vincent D'Onofrio, Full Metal Jacket. Before he was Kingpin, the delightfully gifted Vincent D'Onofrio played Private Gomer Pyle in Full Metal Jacket, the tragic, overweight character from Stanley Kubrick's infamous Vietnam War movie, who finds himself constantly at odds with a hellish drill instructor and culminates in a rifle barrel for supper. In order to prepare, D'Onofrio gained an insane 70 pounds and still holds the record for the most weight gained by an actor for a role. This, of course, came with its own set of complications. During the filming one of the many assault course sequences in the movie, the actor, presumably inexperienced at his new bumbling weight, injured his knee to such an extent that excessive reconstructive surgery was required. Had he not acted in time, the injury could have very well ended up killing him. And number 1, Buddy Ebsen, The Wizard of Oz. Undoubtedly one of the most tragic stories to befall a Hollywood actor, Buddy Ebsen found himself cast as the Tin Man in the unmistakable musical masterpiece, The Wizard of Oz. Unfortunately, a bizarre turn of events rendered him unable to assume the role, events that almost led to his untimely death. It was required of Ebsen to go fully method, in the sense that he had to cover himself in silver paint. Certainly not the most comfortable way to earn a paycheck, but one that presumably allowed him to feel more like the character. All was going fine, but then 9 days into filming, disaster struck. Ebsen suddenly experienced an allergic reaction to the aluminium dust that comprised much of the costume. He was rushed to hospital and nearly died then, and remained there for 2 weeks, after which he went home and was required to recuperate for the sum of an entire month. As a result, he was replaced in the movie by Jack Haley, thus losing out on playing one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history, all because of a freak wardrobe malfunction. And that's our list. Know any more actors who nearly went to the grave for their roles? Well, let us know about them in the comments section below. And if you want to method act as one of my fans, you can do so here or on my personal Twitter, RetroJ with a 0. As always, if you enjoyed the video, then like, share and subscribe for more. I've been Jules with WhatCulture.com, and I'll speak to you soon.